from the morning edition, a resolution to guarantee funding for the Grand Lucerne Resort gets the backing of the House. Also, the Labor Director on recruiting qualified Bahamians for key jobs. And local parks are being revitalized. It's a Friday and we're heading into the weekend. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. The week is winding down and it could be another busy morning for your commute, but be aware of your speed while driving on our streets. Jimanita Swain is standing by with traffic police to talk about the issue. Good morning, Jimanita.
Hello? Ready?
Good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're coming to you live from Montague Beach, just on the curve of the Eastern Road. Of course, it's the beginning of a beautiful morning. The sun's coming up. You got a couple walkers and runners on the beach. But one of the things that traffic officials often have to focus on is persons speeding. And joining us to talk about that issue is, of course, Sergeant Cressenia Johnson of the Traffic Department. Good morning, Sergeant Johnson. Speeding. This is, I guess, a key corridor for that. It's early morning. People think maybe nothing's happening and they just come zooming by. What's the challenges with speeding?
Excessive speed, especially going into the weekend period. Remember, when you go at excessive speed, it causes you now as a driver to find it difficult when you're coming around curves and corners to be able to steer your vehicle and maintain that control. We're asking persons to be mindful of the speed limits, especially here in your inland commute. In inland commute, the speed limit, if it's not posted, is 25 miles per hour. When you are on the outskirts, it is 30 miles per hour. And do you know that the highest speed limit for the Bahamas is 45 miles per hour, and that's on the highways only? So we're asking persons to please slow down.
Well, of course, we know sometimes person exceed that 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. But this is, of course, the beginning of the weekend. People are winding down. And, of course, in addition to speed, I would imagine alcohol consumption is also another concern, deadly combination. Could be. Yes.
Going into the weekend period, we know that the general public will want to relax and indulge in their leisure activities. So we simply ask speed along with alcohol consumption is we never get a positive result from that. So we do ask that if you do intend to consume alcohol, to assign a designated driver. Okay, this would help in all resorts, no matter what it is. Once you have that person who's driving who is sober, then we'll be able to enjoy our time and not get in any of these incidents.
Now, of course, I think you had some recent traffic, what do you call them? Traffic, I don't want to call it traffic violations, but traffic stops recently where you ticketed a few persons. So I guess if you don't adhere to the rules, then you face some penalties.
Yes, it's called driving in excess of the speed limit. And persons know we're here all week and we'll be hitting some more popular spots during the weekend period. We are citing persons for driving in excess of the speed limit, and that's a $100 fine.
That's a lot of money. Yes, so the easiest thing is just to adhere to the speed limit.
That's simple. Just adhere to the speed limit. Remember, inland commute 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts, it's 30 miles per hour. Highways, once it's posted, 45 miles per hour.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Sergeant Johnson. But of course, motorists, be advised, no speeding in these particular areas. And if you choose to speed, then be mindful that you could get a ticket. Back to you in Studio LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Jimanita. You are now looking at a live shot on the outside of our studios this morning and can expect some scattered clouds during the day. And for more on weather conditions on the outside, here's Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. Indeed, a beautiful morning on the outside, but that could all change. The reason being we have that mid to upper level trough which developed over the northwest Bahamas. It's moving quite nicely towards the west into the Florida Peninsula, but that will continue to support some shower activity during the morning hours. But outside of our studios just now, we have just a few clouds. Your temperature around 79 degrees. Your relative humidity 83%, and northerly winds at 2 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars. That is 30.00 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 79 in Green Atoll Key, also Freeport and Grand Bahama, Marsh Harbor at 81 degrees. In the Berry Islands, 82 degrees. 82 also in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otter Sound, Cadallan, Staniel Key, Kemp Space, Old Andros, also Fresh Creek in Central Andros. More 72s in San Salvador and Rum Key in Crooked Island and Clarence Sound, Long Island, 82s as well. Betsy Bay, Megawana, 81 degrees, 81 in Acklands, Ragged Island at 82, Matthewtown, Inagua, another 82, Turks and Caicos Islands, 82 degrees as well. And your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, low tide 11:07 this morning, high tide at 5:23 this afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands today, easterly winds 12 to 18 knots and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. So small craft caution is in effect for boaters in the central and southeastern Bahamas. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather. The morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. On to news in the morning edition. The government now has the go-ahead to guarantee $35 million to complete the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort in the nation's second city. After debating a resolution in the House, members, including the opposition, gave their full support to the move. Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, wrapped up debate on the resolution, once again assuring members that the purchase is in the best interest of the country.
The government of the Bahamas decided that under no circumstances would we allow Grand Bahama to be shut down, packed up, and left by the wayside because one investor sought to cut its losses and run. Faced with the choices at hand, Mr. Speaker, the stakeholders of Grand Bahama, indeed all Bahamians, now empowered with the information presented today, recognize that the smartest decision was in fact the course of action undertaken by the government. Mr. Speaker, we call ourselves a family of islands for a reason. And when a member in the family is in crisis, we pull together to get through. For Grand Bahama, we rallied behind the islands to protect and to secure the future for the sons and daughters of our island and the economic welfare of our country.
With funding now in place for the Grand Lucayan Hotel, the next move will be to ensure the property is turned over into private hands. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis says this will be the focus of the Lucayan Holdings Limited.
The work of the board is critical to the repositioning of the 1,271-room Grand Lucayan Resort and Casino and the Port Lucayan Marketplace area. The board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited is also committed to an exit strategy to sell the Grand Lucayan properties to a private entity. This exit strategy, Mr. Speaker, includes the identification and selection of a qualified buyer within a short as possible time frame. And this potential buyer should be able to help create a unique destination with the accompanying airlift and marketing that will help to make the property and the destination successful.
Also in Grand Bahama, a new fire station set to open on that island today. National Security Minister, the Honorable Marvin Dames, is expected to be on hand for the opening. Mr. Dames says he is excited about the new services now available to residents.
We have already populated it with furnishing, we have computers, we're going to have vehicles, we have a new fire squad on the island of Grand Bahama. And one thing that we're doing that is so unique is that we would have taken officers from New Providence, transported them to Grand Bahama, and now we were able to form a squad with officers from the rest of the Bahamas, right, including Grand Bahama, and they're now in Grand Bahama actually doing the training. So you have an opportunity to see that crew of officers on Friday.
Also this morning, Director of Labor John Pinder also sharing his concerns about the increase in the number of applications for work permits. Pinder says a lack of discipline, low salary scales, and other demands by Bahamians seeking employment are just some of the reasons why employers have opted to pay for a work permit to hire foreigners to perform cheaper labor. Mr. Pinder says labor officials are doing their best to discourage employers from taking that route.
What they're still saying is that these people don't have, a lot of them still lack, but they have ability. The stickability is still a serious problem. So they will come for a few weeks and then they disappear, and this causes them to want to more or less get the foreign worker who they get better control. But two things we recognize. One is that even when people have the skill sets, Bahamians with the skill sets, they certainly, sometimes I think they price themselves out of the market, and they ask for much more, because they know there's a supply and demand effect, and so they try to get high hourly rates. And for the most part, the employer on a project who has a particular budget, you have to be within that budget.
But Pinder says one of the biggest turnoffs from Bahamian job seekers is the salary scales, which he says are simply not very attractive. Additionally, he gave an example of an accounting firm offering low wages for senior positions.
An accounting firm that is asking for 4 accountants. Now I know we have all kinds of accountants in this Bahamas who are qualified. I certainly sent it to one of our sections that goes through the Skills Bank, Public Employment Services area, and they have several accountants in the system. But now the thing is this, they want a senior accountant, they want a senior auditor, but they want to pay, $37,000 a year, $38,000 a year, knowing full well you're not going to get no qualified accountant for that, and a senior person. But they can get those kind of persons from other parts of the world where they have much more supply than demand. So a guy doesn't mind coming from India or Pakistan somewhere, or then in the Far East, coming to the Bahamas and working for less than $4,000 a month as an accountant, an experienced certified accountant, knowing full well that in the Bahamas, that's a very low salary for a qualified accountant.
Stay close, we've got more news right after this quick break. You're watching The Morning Edition.
Stand right there. Don't stand too far. Okay. Yeah. Back to The Morning Edition. It's a new program, but its impact could be vast for this country. The goal is to generate more interest in helping to keep our environment clean. Our Jimanita Swain is live at Montague Beach this morning. Good morning again, Jimanita. Good morning again, LaDawn, and of course, good morning, Bahamas. Now, the beach is one of those places that a lot of persons come to exercise, whether it's jogging, whether it's swimming, whether it's walking. But how can you incorporate keeping the environment clean in addition to exercising? Well, joining me live here at Montague Beach is, of course, Regina Smith, who will talk to us about a new initiative. Good morning, Regina, first, of course.
Good morning, Jimanita. How are you?
I am wonderful, but you were telling us about this new initiative initiative called plogging. What is it? Where did it come from?
Okay, so plogging is one of the hottest fitness trends of 2018. Plogging is a combination of the Swedish term plocka upp and jogging, and it's a social movement that started in Sweden and has made its way to Germany, Mexico, Singapore, the U.S., and now the Bahamas. And what it is that walkers, pet walkers, regular walkers, joggers, runners clean up the walking path as they go along. So it's a really good community effort, a good cleanup effort, and it's a great way to not only clean up the environment but also get in a good workout at the same time.
So now we're here at Montague, but where can persons participate in plogging? Is it going to be island-wide or is it going to be specific places for now?
Great question. We actually have an event tomorrow. It's our first inaugural event, Plog Bahamas, and it's going to be at Fort Montague tomorrow at 6 a.m. So we're going to start at Fort Montague, go down, we're going to clean up along the way, go down to Rawson Square, that's our turnaround point, and we're going to come back to Fort Montague. And you don't have to be a runner, you don't have to even be a jogger, you can just be a walker who wants to get in a great workout, and you can choose your turnaround point. Don't feel like you need to go the full distance. Once you're getting a good workout and you're helping us clean up the community, that's what matters, and it's all of us doing it together.
Well, there you have it. That is, of course, Regina Smith, Plog Bahamas. If you're looking for something fun and easy to do tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., come out to Montague Beach and get involved in cleaning up the beach and getting in a little bit of exercise as well. Back to you in studio, LaDawn.
Seems like you're having a lot of fun out there, Jimanita. Well, a public-private partnership has led to the revamping of a popular local basketball court, and the drive will spread into our communities. Crystal Darling reports.
Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority and the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies placed finishing touches on the new and improved Elizabeth Betty Cole basketball court located at Malcolm Park next to the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge. Chairman of Public Parks and Beaches Shannon Dawn Cartwright says that parks are an important component to building communities.
And parks in general is where dreams and aspirations are nurtured, not only by young men from all communities, but families from all walks of life. And so the park is a very diverse place for Bahamians to enjoy because, you have families who come out here, they exercise, they bring their kids out here. You have young men, as I would have said, from various communities that come out here. And this is like a refuge. And so we are very excited, not only what this does for this area in particular, but what it does for the nurturing and the development of our young people.
Cartwright adds that this is a part of a larger effort to revitalize a number of parks in the country.
But we're going to work very diligently, as we've had over the last year, to try to make improvements to all of the parks. We intend to hopefully, when we're completed, that every park will be up to scratch, but obviously this is a process. It won't happen as quickly as we would like. Again, money's resources is important, but that's what we're aiming for.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies Managing Director Alan Albury explains what makes the court unique and how they carried out this project.
Most persons are familiar with this court because it's right on the main Bay Street, East Bay Street, and so it's a high visibility court. And the surface was in poor condition, and as a result we excavated the entire surface and we put down an entirely brand new asphalt surface. And so this is a 100% brand new court, including the basketball courts, backboards, rims, posts, everything. It's a completely brand new court.
President Atario Mitchell says the material used is top-grade quality.
We have 2 coats of the Cushion Master 2, which is a thicker rubber. Then you have 2 coats of the Cushion Master 1, which gives it the more smoother finish. The benefits of this court is the fact that it helps to lessen the impact on the joints. So it isn't as I would say hard or rigid as the regular asphalt surface. So that's the benefits of this particular surface. As you can see, what we do is we put our Bahamas striping stamp on it. Is we have a signature, and the signature is the painting coach in the colors of the Bahamian flag.
Officials say the surrounding park will also be upgraded, and we can expect the court to be open by next Monday. I'm Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Crystal. October will be observed as Older Persons Month, and on Thursday, the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, in conjunction with the National Council on Older Persons, launched the month of activities. In the capital, a church service and luncheon will be held on October 1st, and the Nation Builders Award ceremony on October 29th at Government House. While listing some of the month's honorees, Minister of Social Services, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, says he expects an exciting month.
Andrea Archer, who fought for the rights of underprivileged and disenfranchised youth by launching the National School Lunch Program, a program that I benefited from at William Gordon Primary School. Co-authoring the SURE program for delinquent boys and establishing the PACE program for pregnant teens. Eugenia Lockhart of Duncantown, Ragged Island, one of the persons who fought for the rights of women to vote. Leon Walton Young, who fought for the unskilled workers to receive minimum wage, resulting in the passage of the Minimum Wage Act. And Maxwell James Thompson of Matthewtown, Inagua, who fought against poor social conditions and racial discrimination.
Meanwhile, Chairperson of the National Council for Older Persons Month, Italia Johnson, noted that legislation is in the works to protect older persons that are oftentimes taken advantage of.
We are here to achieve the legal protection of elderly persons. We will continue to champion as best we can and to carry the message that for far too long, the elderly in this country has been neglected. They've been exploited, not only by others, but by their own children.
And the new Miss Bahamas Universe, Danielle Grant, has a strong passion for the well-being of all types of animals, preferably the potcake. She is using her platform to advocate for the rights and protection of animals and is hoping to visit schools and foster new relationships with civic organizations during her tenure.
I have 6 rescue animals, and I've worked with the Bahamas Alliance for Animal Rights and Kindness. I've fostered animals from there, and I've done multiple years of community service with the Bahamas Humane Society. So what I want to do with my platform is I want to utilize potcakes. There's this negative stigma within the Bahamas that potcakes are nuisances and that they are throwaway animals, but in reality, potcakes are so therapeutic and they're good for people who have depression, anxiety, as well as seeing eye dogs, obviously. But what I really wanted, and potcakes are also a vetted breed within the Bahamas, which many Bahamians don't know. And I want to train potcakes to take them into rehabilitation centers, hospitals, and homes for the elderly.
Over the years, there has been a number of animals that have either caught diseases, were brutally beaten and killed in this country, and their stories were circulated all over social media. Grant says she is hopeful that her platform would raise awareness and discourage Bahamians and others from engaging in animal cruelty.
Over 70,000 animals within the Bahamas that face abuse and neglect. And about 3 years ago, there was a case of distemper which killed 3,000 potcakes, and all of that could be avoided once Bahamians, dog owners, are knowledgeable of how to properly treat their animals, such as Heartgard, Brevecto, Frontline, making sure that water is fresh so that it doesn't breed mosquitoes which carry diseases which then pass on to animals.
So for sure, you're gonna adopt any pets for Charlie, or
no? We already have a little dog at home, and I'm my dog Toby when I was one of those kids. I think his name is Potcake. It's just an original dog. Now the name is Potcake.
So what's coming up in sports?
Well, the big story, if you're following sports, the big story is Jonquel Jones. She is now playing for a different country. Remember a few years ago when we visited Australia for the Olympics, one of our athletes were approached and they confirmed that $1 million a country offered them to change nationality. They did not, but luckily Jonquel Jones took that opportunity.
That story and more ahead in sports.
It was the sports story of the day. Tuesday's news broke that Jonquel Jones will now be playing for Bosnia. I don't know where the hell that is, but looks like a nice place to visit one of these days. Nice, I know it have plenty rum, good food, the beaches, and wow! Who that is telling me that? Who that is telling me that? Who that is telling me that? Huh?
Come on.
Good morning, welcome to your TGIF Look at Sports. This was the sports story of the day Thursday as news broke that Jonquel Jones will now be wearing the colors of Bosnia. The top female basketball player who plays with the WNBA's Connecticut Sun and in the career in the offseason has made the jump. Speaking with Jonathan Benson on the Bahamas tonight, the first vice president of the Bahamas Basketball Federation, Mario Boleg, confirmed the rumors. What led to it?
Well, first of all, I want to say that, Jonquel did not denounce her citizenship as a Bahamian. She's a Bahamian. She'll always be a Bahamian. This was in the making for about 2 years. She has approached the Federation. She was thinking about it. We were in consultation with her and trying to persuade her to remain as a player for the Bahamas. But yet again, some financial decision that was made for her, and we accept that, and we still support her in her future endeavors in the game of basketball.
Well, the Bahamas top female sprinter Shawnee Miller Uibo, stopping by ZNS Thursday, also was asked about the jump by Jonquel.
Me and Jonquel, we go way back. We made one of our first national teams together in 2005, and so yeah, we have a great relationship. And yeah, I wish her all the best with that. She's a great basketball player, and she's always been. And so yeah, whatever she does with her career, that's with her. And so I wish her all the best in the journey.
You'll have much more reactions coming up later on in the day. Meantime, Shawnee wrapping up her tour here, home before heading back to the United States. She's grateful for the love and support she has received, especially from the kids.
It means so much. I remember being that young kid who looked up to the others in the sport, and so to have little kids look up to me like that, it's a great feeling for me, and it's a blessing. And so I just want to encourage them just to continue to keep fighting for their dream and keep working hard, and everything's going to fall into place. I'm enjoying it so much. I'm happy to be home and just to relax and rewind a bit. And so yeah, just enjoying myself and getting ready to mentally get ready for next season.
Now to the Blue Hills Bikers Field, where the Sunshine Auto Wildcats made it look like a video game against the Johnson Lady Truckers, banging out hits after hit. They scored 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 16 in the third, and it was over from then as they won easily in a football score, 27-6, to take the series 2 games to 1. Take the lead in the series 2 games to 1. The entire Wildcats lineup had a hit and scored at least 2 runs. Larika Russell going 5 for 6 and scored 4 times.
I didn't expect that score, but we had the other game we didn't really hit, so we came out on a mission that we were gonna do good offensively, and I'm very impressed with what we did.
We just didn't produce tonight. We didn't do the things that we needed to do. So whatever 9 you put on the field, you have to produce. We made too many mistakes. We played this a different team tonight from the other team Tuesday night. Tuesday night we played flawless ball. Tonight we came in, we just reversed it. So we got to come out, capitalize on our mistakes. Like I always say, and I can continue to say, you have to play good defense when you're playing a good team like the Wildcats to be in the game. The runs tonight, 27 runs, come on, man. That's a championship game.
And in the men's game, this one was not a slugfest at all, as runs were at a minimal. Small ball was the order of the night as the CNS Hitmen nipped the Commander Security Truckers 2-1. And yes, they are now up 2-1 in the series, with Game 4 set for Saturday in both men and ladies series. And that's going to be up on your TGIF Look at Sports. The weekend is here. Enjoy, but be safe.
Die, father, die. Getting him in right now. Go ahead, Basil. You mic check.
1, 2, 3, 4. In our final look at weather, we have a couple of areas we're looking at in the tropic. Not very impressive. We have the first one, which is about 100 miles to the northeast of Bermuda. That has about a 20% chance of developing over the next couple of days. And then there's another area about 650 miles east of the Les Antilles, also at 20% in terms of development. And finally, there is a tropical wave coming off the African coast. That too has a 20% chance over the next couple of days. But on the home front, we have this mid to upper level low which formed over the Bahamas. It's now moving westward across the Florida Peninsula, but that will still support some showers and possible thunderstorms over the northwest Bahamas today. Elsewhere, high pressure is in control, meaning relatively light winds out of the east at about 10 miles per hour. Today, we're going in for some thunderstorms in the morning hours, and by afternoon, you can look for the sunshine to come out, so partly sunny conditions in the afternoon, high temperature around 88 degrees. Tonight looks like this, partly cloudy with a couple of showers lingering, 78 degrees for your low temperature. And extended weather forecast, showers continuing off and on, particularly during the morning hours, heading right into Sunday, and it looks as though on Monday we'll have some passing showers in the forecast as well, and then as of Tuesday, an abundance of sunshine. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for the morning edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. See you right back here on Monday morning.